Before, the tractor was pulled a little bit too much, and the axle was overloaded and broke seriously. The tractor broke down on the side of the road. At this time, the owner could only call the rescue team. The masters repaired the tractor. In order to reduce the traffic jam and not delay the time for the owner to deliver the goods, the masters first lifted the heavy trailer high and then passed through the big one. This will not only be safe during the subsequent repairs, but also allow traffic to return to normal. In order to facilitate subsequent repairs, the cousins skillfully used the all cylinder at the rear of the tractor. The tractor was lifted up, and then the cousin could drive the tractor and deliver the goods to the cargo yard. Because the tractor parts were difficult to find, the masters started to disassemble it in the evening. First, they removed the tractor wheel side fixing shell, and then removed the half-axle flange on the steel ring. You can see that the half-axle is directly broken into two halves. Because the tractor has no axle tube, it can only rely on the half-axle to bear the weight it should not bear. Therefore, the half-axle can only use a brand new one. On the second day, they came to the half-axle production workshop. Don't be fooled by the simple environment of this small workshop. It is the masters who, after being heated to 999 degrees, the masters can use their hammers to break at high temperature and use special molds to shape the shape of the half-axle shaft rod. Then the half-axle connecting flange is shaped by the chuck mold. Because the half-axle is relatively short and the high-end air hammer is used for braking, the shaping process of the half-axle is still very fast. After 3 hours of natural cooling, these blank half-axles can then be processed carefully. The first step of processing is to use steel paper to compare and measure. Cut the outer diameter of the half-axle flange to the appropriate size and cut the outer side to a standard arc. The outer side of the shaft has been cut very quickly. This processing process is a piece of cake for experienced masters. The next thing to process is the shaft feel of the half-axle. The master first cuts the entire half-axle to a flat surface based on experience, and then uses the feeling to cut the size of the half-axle to the appropriate size. When the threaded fixing hole of the half-axle basket is fixed, they need to refer to the special drawings to make hole position marks. Then use the hairpin to punch holes to make positioning holes. During the process of fixing the holes, the master uses a high-end drilling machine and uses 82-year-old mountain spring water to cool the drill bit. Several fixed holes are cut very quickly. After that, the masters can use the corpse washing machine to cut the flower sword groove on the half-axle shaft rod. In this process, the master only needs to adjust the spacing of the flower sword groove and observe the cutting situation carefully to prevent deviation. Their professional production workshop is relatively efficient in making half-axles. There are many types of half-axles. Originally, they are made in this way. After the half-axle is made, the masters can start to assemble it. They use a small hammer to knock for times. The side tracking axis travel is installed very quickly. Then you only need to install a new sealing ring. Through the strong pressure of the hydraulic press, the planetary gear inserter is installed on the half-axle. The wheel side inserter has been basically assembled. It is necessary to use a small hammer to install the axis travel in place to prevent all leakage at the joint. Before installation, sealant needs to be applied. After the fork speed is installed, the masters only need to tighten the fixing screw with a very fast hand speed. Then use the jinding to lift the rear axle to a suitable height to install a large tire. After the masters carefully repaired the tractor with a broken half-axle, the tractor was finally repaired. What do you think of the masters' repair skills? If there are 10 points, how many points are you willing to give?